All right. We started our recording. Welcome to the One of
Yeah.
32 podcast. I am your host, Don, sitting here with my wonderful co host, Chris. KP, say what up to everybody. Welcome to
Pa-
off-season numero uno, right?
Party people, just when you thought the off season was starting to, gonna start to calm down a little bit. No, no, no. Free
Not at
agency
all.
trades, reverse trades,
hmm
AJ news, non-news. Is it smoke? Is it fire? Is the house burning down? Who knows?
The world may never know. So the Eagles have been busy, Chris. I don't know if you saw our recent acquisition, and I'm gonna wait to talk about and get into it if that's all right with you, right? Let's talk
That
about
sounds
like
good.
who's joined and stuff like that. But obviously, the Eagles today signed Marquise Hollywood Brown to a 1 year deal. I want to say around $6-7 million up to. I want to say maybe 4 million guaranteed, but I don't know. I haven't seen the exact contract terms. I think that's just something that I heard today that's the number that we're spitting out. So don't tell me if you got facts or not yet, but we'll see. We added cornerback Tariq Woolen from the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. We'll see. Johnny Munt, we added a tight end who is more of a traditional blocker, which I like. Jonathan Jones, cornerback. Arnold Ebiketie.
Well
Ebiketie.
done, Downs.
Anyways, I'm trying. Edge linebacker, pass rusher. Grant Calcaterra re-signed to another 1 year deal. Welcome back, Grant Calcaterra. Now, for the people who have left,
Hmm.
our Philadelphia Eagles, RIP, goodbye. I guess I shouldn't say RIP, but
Just
Jalen
with the
Phillips,
Eagles.
N'Kobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Josh Uche, Aziz Ojolari, Jahan Dotson, Sam Howell, Brett Toth, Kylan Granson. Did I miss anybody?
Not of note.
Yes, I did miss somebody. We signed Braden Mann, so I would say
Ah.
probably the biggest of note. And he's somebody that I'm excited we got locked down. Chris, what do you want to do? Do you want to go over the acquisitions first, or do you want to go over the departures?
Well, Dons, we got to go departures first. My first question I had highlighted here was which one of these guys hurt the most when you saw that ticker at the bottom come up that
Oof.
they signed to another team? The only three guys I put was Phillips, Reed Blankenship, and Kobe Dean, but you can open it up to the other guys if maybe one of those three hurt more. But those were the three big three for me. What about you?
Reed is the biggest loss for me. I think he was a staple of consistency that we had in the secondary, and he was a guy that put effort over his talent level, right? Because he's not the most gifted athlete. I'm not saying he's not gifted because he's talented for sure, but he's not the fastest guy, not the strongest guy, not the biggest guy. But he's just smart, always kind of not always, but yeah, always does the right thing. And that can make you a great football player, man. Jerry Rice didn't run the fastest 40, but once he
Mm-mm.
got onto the field, he knew what to do with that rock. So I think Reed Blankenship hurts the most. N'Kobe Dean is sad to see, but this was telegraphed last year when we drafted Jahad Campbell, so I don't think this is hurts as much because I already saw it coming. As much as I would have loved to see him stay here, but those are the two. Uh, I guess honorable mentions for me here is
Mm-hmm.
Jahan Dotson, which I get why he
Mm.
left because it's much better opportunity for him over in Atlanta, especially they lost Mooney to the Buffalo Bills, I want to say. Uh, no, to the Giants.
Giants.
What am I
Mooney went to
talking
the
about? To
Giants.
the Giants. I was thinking
Woo.
the other New York team. I
We'll
just
be seeing him
spaced out
twice a
right there.
year.
Yeah, we'll be seeing him twice a year, so that's something else. I guess the Eagles, I didn't know if you heard the Eagles were in the sweepstakes for him. They were looking to try to sign him, but the Giants just gave a better offer, I guess.
Hmm.
So, yeah, honorable
Um,
mention Dean Phillips. I always knew it was a 1 year rental. I always knew it.
really?
Yeah, I did. I didn't, because here's the thing, I didn't expect him to be overly pursued. I just think the Panthers are probably one of the few teams that offered him his biggest contract. And this might be, I mean, depending how well he does with the Panthers, but this might be his last opportunity to get that really big bag coming off a great season with the Eagles. So I don't blame him for leaving. That's why I don't like with the way our defense performed this season, especially with him coming, I just didn't see him signing for like a reasonable number for us. For the Birds. I
It was
rambled too
Phillips for
much,
me,
didn't
coincidentally,
I?
Duns. No, you
Oh,
didn't. No,
all
no,
right.
no. Here's the thing. For me, it was actually Phillips. I'll go the other way with it. And this will be good because for this reason, it
Hmm.
felt like all week or on and off, I kept hearing like signs are pointing to the Eagles working on a deal with Jalen Phillips. I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to work out. Also, for me, it's position of need. Like, I think we need pass rush big time.
So bad, yeah.
And it would have been maybe it's just me like hope or wanting him to be the guy that we stuck with or that we paid, but I'm not surprised somebody else was willing to pay him more. It just maybe because I read some
Yeah.
things or I thought, all right, maybe he is going to stay with us. Maybe we are going to have the cap space with the Dallas signing or some of those kind of moves that
Yeah.
we made
I
George
just
Davis
don't
getting done, but it wasn't enough.
I don't think he was impactful enough to command that type of salary on our team. And that's why we didn't end up paying more for him. Like it wasn't a desperate, hey, please stay. So,
Mhm.
with that being
Next.
said, yeah, good luck, Jalen Phillips. I liked him. I thought he was a good player, but that's the thing is like I'm looking for great. And if you're gonna be our starting
Hmm.
D end, which we'll get into in a little bit, like I need somebody who's great. So let's start with all right, let me do a little game here, Chris. A little setup for you. Is that all right with you?
What do you
Okay.
got, Dons? I'm
Okay.
ready.
Let's go with I'm gonna ask you about our pickups. I'm gonna ask you if you either think it's a great signing, a decent signing, or if you're disappointed.
Okay, deal.
You good with that?
Hmm.
All right, let's start with the welcome back tour, Grant Calcaterra tight end. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
Well, now that we know what we know, which is Dallas is back, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say it's a good signing. At the time when it happened, to me, it was a great signing because we thought it felt like Dallas was going to be gone. Not to say that Grant is the answer by any means, but he's a nice backup tight end to have, somebody who knows the system well, who we thought was improving, or at least maybe I did. I know maybe we don't feel
Yeah.
him the same way, but for me, it was partially because we were worried about Dallas was going to leave. But now that we know he's here, it's a good move. I like him. I'll give him another opportunity in the offense behind Dallas. He might get more opportunities this
Yeah.
year. Dallas being on, was it Dallas? You got a 1 year deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Another 1 year deal. I
Dallas
think
for
like
1 year.
12 or
Yeah.
something.
So 1 year deal for him. He gets to prove himself again, and then maybe Grant gets more of an opportunity next year. So for me, a good signing. What about you, Downs?
Okay. I'm pretty neutral on it. I think the tight end room really needs a little bit of juice. I know they brought Munton, whatever. We'll talk about that in a second. But Grant Calcaterra
Hmm.
doesn't, I don't dislike him as a player. He just doesn't do it for me. I really hope we address the tight end number two situation in the draft or maybe later on in free agency. I'm not sure. Or who knows, and we'll talk about AJ Brown in a little bit, but who knows what we can get for someone like him. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on it. I'm not mad about it, but let's get some help there. All right, next person. Speaking of
Who's
edge
next?
rushers, Arnold Ibiketti. Arnold Ibiketti. Uh,
Well,
I believe pass rusher from the Atlanta Falcons, correct?
hmm now I don't
Pretty
know a ton about this guy. Go ahead. What do you know about him?
So I don't know a ton about him either, but what he feels like to me is the status quo, right? Our same like maybe he can be as good as Jalen Phillips, maybe he has some flash plays, but as far as a dominant presence in our locker room and on the field, I don't know enough about him to say he can be that, but I feel like he hasn't shown that with Atlanta for the few years that he's been there. I'm not saying I love or hate it or anything like that, but man, like just another player
Guy.
that needs to prove it, you know?
Hmm.
Another
Yep.
guy. Yeah. Your thoughts. Hold on,
We talked about it a couple minutes ago.
let me
What?
get no, I'm listening, I'm listening. I just gotta let
It's
sink
a
in.
position, it's a position of need. So to
Hmm.
me, that almost automatically puts it in at least the good category. I can't say it's great because I don't think he's great, nor do I think he'll be great for us. But I think that's not what he's meant to be. He's meant to be, like you said, status quo, a glue guy, a B minus, a C plus player. Maybe he grows into becomes more with that if he gets more opportunity. But for me, it's a good signing strictly because we need some help on the edge.
Yeah, we need somebody that can do something, and maybe he'll be the guy that pops off in last year instead of like Jalix Hunt, right? Uh, Again, though, I just feel like our D end room is so underwhelming. We don't have any dominant presence there. I like Jalix Hunt, but I've been hearing a lot that Jalix Hunt is going to be our number one D end rusher. That concerns me a little bit. No disrespect to Hunt, but he's just hasn't proven it yet that he is that player. Hopefully, he can get there in another year under Vic Fangio. He can progress, but just Jalix Hunt reminds me of what Nolan Smith is supposed to be. And both of those guys I would categorize as my DN2, right? The other DN, not the JJ Watt DN, you know? So,
Primary, yeah.
yeah, we
Mhm.
need some help there. Hopefully, we figure something out, but I think it's a good signing. I can't say it's great. Let's move on to Johnny Munt. What are you thinking? Good, great, disappointed?
Mm, I'll give it another good. No, just good. I mean,
Yeah, I know there should be like a category between disappointed and good. It's just
no, I'm
a
not.
neutral feeling, right? Because
It's
that's how I feel.
meh, meh.
Listen, he
We signed
is
him.
one of the better. I think he was like, I think I heard a stat saying that he was like the top three blocker of all the tight ends that were available to sign. So that's a good
He's
sign.
great at that.
Our tight end room was pretty bad. So I'm pretty happy about. Is this stick tripping you out? Pretty happy we
Also,
got
you got
him.
me thinking about blocking and how Goddard was last year one of the worst blocking tight ends in the
Yeah,
NFL. So
and
now we sign a guy who's great at blocking.
I think that's why the Eagles were like, well, even though he had the most touchdowns, which is crazy. Anyways, we're moving on. We're neutral, right? Both neutral. Welcome to the squad,
Yeah.
kid. Strap it up.
Yep. Prove yourself. Prove yourself.
Biggest signing, in my opinion, is Tariq Woolen, cornerback, who comes with his
Mm.
baggage of history. However, has a strong athletic frame. I think what is he like 6'3", 6'4", or something like that. Runs a crazy 40.
Six,
You know,
four,
not the best
built out of a
tackler,
lab.
but much probably better than any cornerback two that we had last year. Better than what's his face, Jacorian Bennett. Better than Adoree Jackson. Thoughts on Tyreek
Mhm.
Woolen?
Normally, I'd start positive, Don. So let me just get the negative stuff out of the way. I sent this to you with a text.
Yeah.
Last season, last season, folks, Tariq Woolen had three taunting penalties. That was more than I believe half of the entire league in regards to teams. So this guy loves to run his mouth. He loves to taunt. Let's hope the Eagles, Quinion, and Cooper can kind of taper that and bring that down a little bit. Now, the player that he is, he's unbelievable. When we
Same.
traded for him, Don's and I were on the phone, and the first thing I brought up was NFC Championship game against the Rams. He makes a fantastic play on the sideline, gets up yapping and yapping and yapping, and ends up on the Rams sideline. The referee is looking at him like, man, I don't want to do this in a playoff game, but if you, and eventually he kept yapping, and they
Yeah.
had to throw the flag on him. So this guy's going to make plays, Dons, but he's also going to run his mouth. Let's hope we can keep it down a notch. But overall, as regards
Yeah.
to a player, love this guy. The other thing I love about it, Dons, that I thought of it as soon as it happened, is he's on his best behavior because it's a 1 year deal. There
That's what
is
I'm
nothing
hoping.
guaranteed, really, nothing proven. So if you want your big bag in the future, that could be around the corner for you. Come
I
into
mean, he
this
got a nice
organization,
contract here.
play the right way and get your bag once it's over, maybe a ring too. Because this guy, Don's paired with Quinion and Cooper DeJean, where are you going to throw the ball? Where are you going to throw it?
To our
In the
safeties.
middle.
To our
In the middle.
safeties. Who are our safety? Makuba? Makuba?
Wait, we're about to get CJ GJ back.
Michael
Don't
Carter?
don't no.
Nah, he signed somewhere.
He did. Well,
Yeah,
he'll be
he's
back.
gone. He's gone, brother. He's gone. I was very sad. Very sad.
I
Um,
love Woolen, by the way. If you can't tell, I love this guy. I can't wait to
yes.
have him out there. He's a stud, and it's a 1 year deal. So I love, 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 love it.
Nice. Yeah, I love it too for the upside opportunity. I am getting a little annoyed with Howie Roseman trends of getting these players that need to prove themselves. I know I said this earlier. The hey, let's get the upside, and if it works, we're geniuses, and if it doesn't work, you're like, well, we gave an opportunity to a guy that we thought really jumped off the page on film and all of our research, and we actually looked into drafting in the sky a couple of years ago, and he just slipped out of our fingers. Obviously, the Seattle Seahawks signed had
Huff,
a pick.
Bryce Huff.
Anyways, Huff? Who's Huff? I don't care about Huff. Yeah, he's another one. He's another one. Same exact situation. So hopefully it pays off. I do want to make a comment what you brought up of hopefully Quinion and Coop can keep him in line. Like, bro, what are you talking about? We talked so much trash last year and got so many
I know we
undisciplined,
do.
stupid penalties and jumped off sides and played off of emotion and completely played amazing and aggressive, then completely deflated. We, as good as a defense as we were last year, this guy has to work on his like on the field demeanor and composure. Again, not saying he's a bad dude, not saying he's a problem or anything like that. Welcome to the
No,
squad, dude. I think you're going to be a great CB2. But just from example of what we saw last year, that's the opposite problem that we needed to bring into the building. We need to bring in people who are going to be about their craft. But I'm excited for it. So let me ask you this. Oh, wait. Yeah, Hollywood Brown, last one that we got to go over. Hollywood
no.
Brown comes in as
Well,
potentially number 3 receiver. We'll see what happens with AJ Brown. Maybe he's number 1, number 2. Probably definitely I think number 2. Um that's the overall consensus, not my opinion, just the overall consensus of what I've heard on the radio since it's happened. Christopher, thoughts on
hmm
Hollywood Brown?
well, Dons, this one you're gonna hear the tone in my voice. It's definitely a disappointment, and for a few reasons. Number one, it almost puts the stamp of approval of it's gonna happen. We are losing AJ Brown. It's been about 2, 3 weeks now since I've come to terms with it, come to grips with it, that he will no longer be a Philadelphia Eagle. By
Yeah.
the time September rolls around, we're getting excited for week one. And we won't take too long to reflect on it now. Maybe a
Oh,
summer episode, we can do that, maybe when it happens.
mm-hmm.
But he's not the replacement, nor is he meant to be. What?
Nothing, nothing. You're good.
No, he's not. He's not the replacement, nor is he meant to be one. Overall, though, not really impressed with him overall as a player. He seems to be jumping around and moving around a lot, and he seems to be a problem no matter where he goes. He's a headache. I think he's the cousin of Antonio Brown, so doesn't have
He
all the
got
talent, but
injured
definitely
last
got
year, to
some of
be
the
fair to
kookiness or
him.
craziness.
He played all right until he got injured last year.
I know, but it was with Kansas City, so like maybe with a good organization, you can kind of keep the reins on him. Maybe that's the hope here, but not really a fan of his. What about you, Dons?
I am also disappointed in the signing. In fact, wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Hollywood Brown ended up being somebody that is the fourth, fifth receiver on this team, or maybe we cut or something like that. Like, I do not. I let me talk a little bit about the positives first. I think he's a very fast receiver, has incredible speed, has a gift to. I know this is kind of the same thing as speed, but take some off the top for a player. Create some space. I think in this office, in this offense, I think he's going to be used to run crossing routes to force somebody
And in
to.
this office.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, you're freezing up pretty bad. Are you freezing on yours or no?
It says my internet connection is unstable.
Oh, that's not good. All right, anyway. So I think in this offense,
We'll ride it
his
out.
his skill set is a net positive. I don't think I don't think for a second the Eagles see him as a replacement for AJ Brown or somebody even taking that number 2 spot. I think we're gonna address that in a different way, but I don't know. I'm trying to be hopeful about this signing, but he just hasn't proven to be like a consistent contributor. Like splash of big plays, which might be fine because if he's coming into that Torrey Smith role, right, then I'm all for it. But if not,
You
I'm
know, you
concerned
know,
that he's
Dons.
our wide receiver number two.
You know what this move is really? This is
What?
this move right here. It's the Eagles just traded AJ Brown. Who are their receivers other than Devontae Smith? And if we didn't sign this guy, what would we say? What would most people
Darius
say?
Cooper.
I don't know who they got over there. They lost Dotson. Yeah, right. So now people are gonna be like, oh, at least they got Marquise Brown.
hmm
This is like a guarantee. AJ's about to be gone within. I know he's not gonna get traded till June 1st, but he gone.
He might get traded in season. Don't undervalue the power of a team that's borderline but needs a wide receiver to trade for somebody like AJ Brown.
Hmm.
Because let's be honest, like, what are the odds that we replace him with another player? All right, anyways, we're moving on from Marquise Brown, right? Whatever. Disappointed. Hopefully it works out. Because I know I just started going off on
Yes.
AJ and stuff like that, and
Yes.
I know that's not what we were doing, but yeah, screw him. Screw him. Anyways, sorry, I probably shouldn't
Move
have killed
on.
the flow for that. All right, so yeah, we're talking about AJ Brown. Potential of him
It's all
being
good.
traded, I think, is highly probable. I do not see him being moved for chump change. We just saw Jalen Waddle just went to the Broncos for a first round pick, third round pick, and fourth round pick, right? So the Broncos, I think, got Waddle in a fourth, and AJ Brown is a much better wide receiver than Waddle. He's much better than Kirk. He's much better than all these guys that have been moved around. So I'm with Howie, dude. If you can't get premium for your boy, do you really want to be the laughing stock the same way the guy from Tennessee was when everybody was calling him a clown for trading away AJ Brown and thinking Burks, who's now on the Washington Commanders, is going to be his replacement? Which, no shot at Burks, man. That's a hard, position to be in. It's not your fault, but I don't think Howie wants to be that. So I think, and again, let's not forget, it's not like we didn't give AJ $100 million contract at the same time. Like, what are we doing here? Either way, I do think he's moved. I think it's going to be before the trade deadline. I'm not sure if we're going to be, you know, actually, I don't know. It might happen pre draft. What do you think, Chris, before I keep saying nonsense?
So the big thing I keep hearing about is June 1st. If we trade him before June 1st, there's a $40 million dead cap hit. The Eagles do not operate that way. Now, I know the cap is crap. It's not real at the end of the day, but to some form, it is real. So
Yeah.
I don't think the Eagles are going to do something silly like that before June 1st unless they are blown away. Maybe a team wants to take some of that money on. I've seen that happen before. I think it happened in maybe one of the quarterback trades in the last couple of years where the team takes on some of the money from the player
Yeah.
as an incentive to move him. But to me, he gets moved after June 1st, probably somewhere before. I think it happens before 4th of July. I think they want him settled in the building on his new team, specifically the New England Patriots,
You don't
sadly.
think it happens before the draft
It's him.
or during the
No,
draft?
I don't think it happens before the draft. No. No, because of that $40 million cap hit thing. I just think, although I did hear if it's going to happen, it's going to happen before the draft. I don't buy that. I think the money is more important than us getting a pick in this year's draft, which supposedly is a down draft anyway. You want the picks in next year's
Sometimes they
draft,
say that though, and then
2027,
you end up
which is much
getting great
better.
players, though.
That's true. There's
You
great
never know.
players in every draft. That's very true. But I don't think he's getting moved until June 1st is passed. But I do think he does not play a single down for
Really?
the Eagles this year. I don't think they even want him starting the year. Yeah, too much bad energy, too much bad juju. Like, let's get him out the building. New team, new year.
Yeah, but if he starts the season and goes out there and balls like crazy, and then we're like, hey guys, like this guy's on the trading block, like, you know what I mean? I think that's a powerful tool, right? Obviously things can go the other way, but you're hoping for the best. And I don't know. I still believe in AJ Brown being a great receiver. I just think he was playing with real sad boy vibe energies, which I'll get into in a minute. But if he goes out there and balls and shows his dominance, then why wouldn't a team want to give up a first for this year? Not this year, but like for the following draft. Anyway, I'm sad. I hope he stays, but
Rams. We heard Rams were interested.
yeah, I heard the Rams are
Hmm.
interested, Patriots are interested. I know other teams have been peeking or poking around, but you know that they're not looking for the asking price. Um. Oh, you know what? We didn't
Supposedly,
talk about.
AJ.
Oh, go ahead.
Supposedly, AJ and his camp went out to the NFL teams and kind of shopped around AJ, and apparently four teams were involved: Patriots, Rams, Chargers, and the Kansas City Chiefs
Chiefs.
had interest in AJ Brown. Ooh,
They got a pretty
oh
good draft pick this year, don't
no
they?
way. I'm just saying.
Don't they have a
Apparently
pretty
they
good
had
draft
interest
pick
in
this year?
AJ. They have a top 15 pick. Yep.
Yeah. Like, hey, that's kind of like our
Oh,
best trading
hey.
partner. Ugh.
Nah, I want next year's draft.
Yeah, but we can get a first and then Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, right.
I
He
know,
just
I
got
know.
signed there. Anyway, what's next on the docket?
Well, we forgot to talk about Fred Johnson not being signed to the team. There was reports of him going potentially to the Cowboys. Do you, Chris, or do you not want Fred Johnson re-signed on this roster?
Definitely want him back.
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
Depending, of course, everything has a price, right? And there's a scale for everything, but
Six
unless he's
seven.
asking for crazy money,
uh,
unless he's asking for crazy money, Dons, which I don't think he is. But what do
he
we
might
know? I
be.
want him back.
He had
He
he had
could
a
be.
lot of good film out there this year. He played really well for the Eagles
I feel like if he had good film, like you say, like somebody would have already signed him. Why hasn't anybody else signed him yet, you
because
know?
the Jaguars tried doing it last year and it didn't work out. So teams are probably skeptical. You know, there's also
Hmm.
that Nick
Well
Foles
then,
factor
bring
where
him
like
back.
you only play good with the Eagles. Mekhi Becton's out there, another free agent that hasn't been signed. Obviously, a lot of the coaching staff and players that were responsible for his success are out the door. Jason Kelsey. We have who else was out there? Anyways, and then Jeff Stoutland, obviously not the offensive line coach. Do you want to see a Mekhi Becton reunion?
Oh, definitely.
Do
I
you?
love Mekhi Becton. When I saw him crying on the field with his little kids, oh
Yeah.
yeah, bring him back to Philly. He realized that he should have signed here.
He
Much things didn't
also,
work out over there.
not for nothing, which I say all the time, he also showed the same exact consequences or effects, right, or aftermath issues that the whole rest of the Eagles offensive line did. So kind of just feels like those
Hmm.
boys were beat the hell up last season because Becton went to the Chargers and underwhelmingly performed the same way that Landon and Steen and all of them in camp performed, injury aside.
You're not wrong, Downs.
Yeah, so again, deep playoff runs cost something. That's why going back to back champions or back to back to back champions is so impressive. People just think like it's like, oh yeah, they're always their thing. Like, nah, these people are humans with human bodies. They might be freaked and gifted and touched by the Lord's finger, but dude, it's hard. It's hard. All right, Chris, I have a question for you. Are you ready for
What?
it? Chris, this has nothing to do with football, but I want to ask you if you can remember the last time that you ripped your pants. Can you remember that?
Pff, no.
Well,
Can
that's
you?
funny because I can tell you that about, I don't know, 35 minutes ago, I had suffered the fatal
No.
crushing blow of ripping my pants. And not only are they my pants, they are my favorite work pants that I have carried with me for a long time. So maybe it was just the signs of the powers that be.
Damn,
But
Downs.
I forgot I had
Damn.
dress pants on. Samantha Pants ordered a new desk for herself. And so, like a nice guy that I am, went to go pick it up, but it's a huge box, pretty heavy. So I bent and squat down super low to be able to rest it on my shoulder and pick it up. Forgot I had dress pants and what? Surprise! Big Larry was around to put him
Oh
down.
my God. Tell me she wasn't watching you.
No, no,
Tell
nobody
me she
was
wasn't
there.
watching you do this
Nobody
and she
was
was
there.
upstairs in the
That
house.
would be
Okay, good.
hilarious. She's not even home from
Thank
work
God.
yet. But yeah, so I just ripped my pants earlier today, about 30 minutes ago. I'm actually
Damn,
sitting
Downs.
doing this podcast in my ripped pants, just living in the shame, having conversations about football. And now everybody that listens to us know that I'm starting my life off with ripped pants here. So RIP to my black pants. I've had them a long time. Stayed in nice shape. They had like a nice satin black finish. And now I'm just the man sitting
This
here
just
with
in
his
with
ripped
Don's
pants.
is don't bend down in dress pants.
Yeah. Basically. So that's my story sticking to it. Okay. Chris, reports
Yep.
Jalen Hurts asked last year, how do you feel about Kevin Patula being the offensive coordinator? Oh, I don't know. He's never done it before. We'll see. He's going to have to adjust. I don't really have an opinion. Blah, 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 blah. He's fired. I have fun in Miami. Jalen, 2026 Jalen. Hey, how do you feel about Sean Mannion being your offensive coordinator? He's incredible. Obviously, everything's limited with the limited amount of time that we have and the point in the season that we're on, but the man's incredible. Chris, Jalen Hurts, present, thumbs up, overall approval. How do you feel about Jalen Hurts feeling about Sean Mannion that things are looking good in Philly?
You know what I think it is, Dons? It's when you get around a professional and you realize like, oh,
Which I
this
am
is
not.
how people operate. This this is how things should go. This is how the operation should be
Yep.
done. There's a cadence to it. There's a communication to it. There's a language. There's a directness to it. There's just a, hey, this is how we're going to operate, as opposed to maybe more of like checking in and more of like, hey, how do you feel about this? And it's more of like, hey, this is how we do things. I just came
Mhm.
from the Rams under Sean McVay. This is how we move. This is how we operate, and this is how it's going to be. So I think if you bring consistency, which it sounds like that's what he's all about, is consistency, and like we're going to be the same way every single day, and that whole demeanor, that thing, then
Mhm.
I think it means great things. I tried not to read too much into Jalen's comments last year because he doesn't usually say much in the media, or when he does, it's very pointed, or it's kind of like a hidden thing you have to find.
Mhm.
But to hear him speaking positively about this guy already means the relationship should be off to a good start, Downs.
Yeah, that's
What about you?
exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. It's nice to see Jalen having some confidence, whether it's fake or not, but it's nice to hear some confidence coming out of
Who
QB1. And
knows?
I'm expecting Jalen to have a big bounce back year this year. Not only just from the coaching that he's going to get, but I think his personal growth of another season under his belt is going to give him the tools to kind of adjust the way that he feels like he might need to. And I do expect to see a much better productive season from Jalen Hurts. Now, Chris, we have to talk a little bit because we
Yep.
don't got much time left here. We have news the other day that one Darius Smith. That's so funny. I just said Darius Smith. Darius Slay. Darius Slay saying that if he plays for any team, it's going to be the
Say,
Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Darius Smith just reported this morning he is now retiring from the NFL. What are your thoughts on Darius Slay? Almost did it again. Darius Slay retiring. Big play Slay.
well, I'm very thankful and appreciative for what he did as an Eagle. I
Word
didn't
me too.
know if the Eagles would bring him back. I feel like that page has turned. We're sort of an organization where once the page is turned, I don't think we're the type to bring guys back. I mean,
Not
if
at a
you
big
have something off the
contract,
top of your head,
which I don't think he would sign for
yeah,
a small contract. Yeah.
he's not signing for the veteran minimum, huh?
No, definitely not. I'm happy
It's
for him.
funny that he retired. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm happy for him. He gets to walk away, not severely injured, not mangled, not letting the game kind of spit him out. Even I think some of his snaps in Pittsburgh weren't so bad. I think kind of scapegoated a little bit. But like you, I'm very thankful to Mr. Slay, big play Slay, because he did stabilize our QB1, our CB1, geez, our CB1 spot that had so many revolving doors. Our last CB1 was Ronald Darby, and Ronald Darby was here for such a short amount of time. And before that, it was Asante Samuel. And in between was just disastrous seasons of our team being so good, but being a couple of cornerbacks away from being a serious contender. So to that, I owe him my sincerest of thank yous. Um, I think it's the right move for
One more
him.
thing.
And yeah, what?
You know what, Dons? I'm pretty confident in saying without Darius Slay, we don't get all pro Quinyon Mitchell in year two.
I agree with you.
Quinyon has talked about their relationship, how they communicated every single day, how important he was to his rookie season in regards to Quignon's first year. He talked about once he left and went to another team, they still were texting every day in the offseason. So shout out to Slay for being a, what do they call it, a vet and really helping Quignon in his
A
rookie year.
leader, a leader.
I would
That's what
imagine
we
you know
call
this
it.
better than I do, Dons. When you're young and you come into a locker room, you can easily be impacted, kind of like infected by the locker room or certain players. And if
Yeah,
somebody bad gets around Quinyon, as opposed to what happened to him, maybe doesn't become the same player, doesn't work as hard, doesn't create those strong habits. He is who he is, of course, but I think having good veterans in your locker room means a lot. Credit to Slay.
yeah. Credit to Slay. So enjoy your retirement, player. You got a lot of money to do a lot of different things, man. I hope you find that next juice, that next thing that excites you and you get to live your life, which brings me to my last point, which is non-Eagles related because we got to sign off in a second. But just personally, feel like I've been roaming around this earth and kind of lost the plot for a little bit. So I'm kind of excited for personal growth this year and figuring out new things to do to find fulfillment and figuring out new passions and what this world has to offer because there's so much that this world has to offer. Easier said than done. I could be a Debbie Downer a lot. Sometimes you get caught off in the nonsense of everyday life and you sometimes always tend to key on the negative things. So here's to, kind of finding the plot and, rewriting the way the story's going cuz just like a book, man, your life got different chapters and you can kind of figure it out. So anybody out there who may be struggling that's listening like, you're still breathing as corny as it is, but there's opportunity to move forward and do different things as long as you're alive, player. So stick around, do something different, and I'm excited to see what tomorrow brings for me because we gotta start having a little bit more fun around here. She. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
I'm with you, Dons. I'm with you.
Uh,
Phew, no better way to end the pod on that, Don. So let's end it
and
on that.
yeah, man. Thanks for listening, everybody. Sorry we've been gone, but we do what we can. Peace out.
We're back.
Goodbye.
Go Birds!
Go birds. Ha.